now in Girl Meets World. It takes place a decade later, or 1,000 years in pop culture.
Yes.
And Corey and Topanga, which Maria Sansone thought was a made-up name because she never heard of Topanga Canyon, are now married. When she was a kid. She thought your name was Temecula. Anyway, they're now married with
another
two kids.
good name.
Yeah.
Live in New York City. All right, let's take a look at this.
Ma! Whatever this is, do not put me in the middle of the two people that I love equally. Just kidding. Come here, honey.
She walked out of my class. She's trying to be Maya.
Why would you want to be Maya?
She's cool. She has a wild side. She does what she wants.
But you're such a good person.
Who cares about that? How important is it that you don't know me at all?
Let's get married. Let's have a kid. Let's have another kid. Well, you listen to me, you big stupid.
Oh, so adorable. When you guys ended all those years, like back in 2000, did you have any idea that you could ever do this again?
No, I definitely did not. You know, we get asked all the time, like, does it feel so weird to have been, to have experienced it with Boy Meets World and then to be experiencing it again with Girl Meets World? But we didn't really experience the fandom in the 90s because there wasn't social media.
No social media. This would have been the social media kids show, too, yes.
Right, and so we didn't, like, now we feel it so instantly, whereas back then, I kind of felt like we did the show just for us. We did it, and I don't know if anyone saw it.
In some ways, weren't you lucky? I mean, you could just...
Well, we were in a bit of a bubble back then.
Yeah.
I think nowadays, the fan reaction is so instant and so immediate that, depending on whether they like the show or not, it can go either way.
Well, I can tell you, we like the show. I watched the first 2 episodes with my kids.
Hey, someone sent me a picture of you in bed watching it with the kids.
Yes, it was all
It was
PG,
G-rated,
right?
but...
Yeah. They loved it. They laughed at you guys, and of course, Farkle.
Yes.
Who is Minkus's spawn, right?
Correct.
Right, yes. Minkus's child, Corey Fogelmanis plays Farkle, and he's...
We should point out when we watch the clip, you're a school teacher in New York.
I am.
Your daughter's in your class.
Correct.
And her friend, who's her dear friend, kind of a member of the family, but maybe she's a little too fast, a little too...
Right, that's Sabrina Carpenter, who's her best friend, Maya.
And that's what we were watching in that scene.
That's what we're watching. But I think the show, in general, is just kind of promoting a good message. It's a fun show. I think it fills a nice void that's, maybe missing from TV right now.
It's a good area because your show was very innocent. It was a very innocent show, and kids loved it. They loved the message of it. The edges of stuff had messages. They wasn't that edgy in that way.
Yeah.
Can a show survive like that now?
I'm going to let you answer, but I'm just going to say that I think that what's important about our show is that it's relatable and it's fun. Mm-hmm. And I think it doesn't preach a message too much, but I think it's something that people can identify with.
And to hear my kids giggle the way they did yesterday was just so much fun, because they've been on the marathon watching Boy Meets World, because that's on Disney right now. Yeah. And so this was really cool to be able to see that. And I think when you sent out the tweet that this was actually happening, it's the 5th most retweeted tweet ever in Twitter history.
In history?
People were excited.
Yeah. So my question to you is that a good statement?
Exactly.
What?
Well, and that kind of answers your question. Is it possible that a show like this could survive now?
Yeah.
I think, luckily for us, there's a major craving for a good family program.
Were you aware, talking about the lack of social media when your show was on, there's a generation of teenage boys, you know where I'm going with this, who were just absolutely, you were the fantasy.
Well, thank you. Oh, you mean Danielle?
No. Very good, man. Were you aware of all of that then?
No, I mean, Topanga is an amazing character. She was created to be the ideal girl. Mm-hmm. And in a lot of ways she is. She's somebody I look up to. She's somebody I admire. She's smart. She's funny. She's, loyal. She's a lot of really wonderful qualities. So I can understand why Topanga is a... is a fascination.
That was, I can't remember, was Corey a love symbol or not?
I like to think he was, but
we hear about it all the time. Yeah, on Twitter, everyone says I've been looking for my Corey my whole life.
I think Corey was the sweet, lovable guy that people could relate to.
I wish Sansone were in the segment because when she was younger, when the show was on, she was only attracted to the bad guys, right?
That unfortunately wasn't me.
But then she found a Corey. She married a Corey.
Well, that's what happens is the nice guy wins in the end.
Yeah.
In the end, but they have to wait a long time.
Right.
They have to be very patient.
Yeah. All right, so for you, in terms of your lives and your grown-up families and all of that, the experience of working and doing a show, it's entirely different.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it has been different. I mean, it's great. In a lot of ways, one of my number one things that I like to say is it's so much easier being on a kid's show as an adult than it is to be a kid on a kid's show.
And how worried are you about these kids? Because these girls are darling. They're darling. So do you have to like try and mother them, or what do you do with all that?
We're very protective of them already, and we've known these girls for coming on 2 years now, and it's like we have formed this little family together. We were there from the second we met them in the auditioning process, and we've kind of seen them grow just in the short time we've known them.
Will they take the wisdom that you've learned by experience, or are they too young to take it?
They don't have a choice.
Yeah, no, and they do. I mean, luckily they also come from very good families. We don't feel like we need to parent them. They have parents that are very good, so we don't feel that need. But, every week we meet right before we tape a show, and we spend about 15 minutes together alone as a cast and talk about our highs and lows of the week and what it is that we felt we struggled with, and we try to connect with them on that level.
All right. Girl Meets World premieres Friday, June 27th on the Disney Channel.
It's so good.
Thank you.
You saw the tweet of her in bed.
Yeah.
I did.
I tweeted a picture of myself in bed.
It was very sweet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So great to see you. Thank you. Coming up, Dr. Oz.